Welcome to Indiana Sports Beat Radio, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington.
Looks over the middle, second guesses, fires, throws. Does he make the catch in the end zone? Yes! Touchdown! Oladipo to win it.
Another one!
He got
Another
it!
one! Another one!
Huge hole. He's at the 30. He's going to go. 10, 5, touchdown. Jonathan Taylor.
Worked out by Byrne. Bounces into Cody. Puts it up. Scores!
Now, from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, here's your host, Jim Coyle.
Happy Friday. Holy moly. How's everybody doing? How's your week gone? I hope it's been a good one. Hope you're ready for the weekend. I am worn out and I'm ready to go. Lots going on. Basketball tonight. We'll talk to Alec Lasley today. We'll talk to Matt Byrne today. Charlie Miller today. Indiana is playing their game against BC Mega tonight, 7:30. Man, oh man. What all, John, we've got, I think we have sound from football from yesterday. Have I hit about everything so far?
Yeah, we've got a couple sound bites, and then we've also got Tom Allen included from yesterday. What I referred to already is the one from a couple days ago, but we've got plenty of football sound in case we need to pull that up.
Dwayne's with us already on the Andy Moore Honda hotline. Says, good morning, TGIF. Ross Bonnell. Friday the 13th. Let's have it. I noticed that last night, and I'm like, oh, crap. That's the last thing I need after how long this week has been. Let me put those up there. Jennifer says that the Hoosiers play basketball today. What a glorious day it is for her. Tony, morning. We're not a huge baseball fan, but love the Field of Dreams. Oh, yes. Thank you for bringing that back up. That's something I wanted to talk about. That was a very cool deal if you didn't see it. I didn't finish reading that. Tony Stuckey says, morning. Hello, all. We're not a huge baseball fan, but love Field of Dreams. And dang, if that wasn't an amazing sight last night, an example when sports gets it. Loved it. That was a very, very cool thing. If you're not aware of what he's talking about, they had last year they were supposed to have this Field of Dreams game, but it had to be moved to this year. The White Sox and the Yankees played in old school uniforms at the I guess I don't know how long that stadium has been redone, but Charlie Miller's joining in with us now. But they had a major league game, first major league game in the history of Iowa, Charlie.
Wow.
This Field of Dreams game. I don't know if you saw that last night, but
I didn't.
And man, oh man, it was a Field of Dreams game.
Wow.
In the ninth inning, there were 3 home runs, 2 of them by the Yankees, who were in the top half of the ninth. And it looked like they were going to win. And then the White Sox hit a walk-off home run.
Wow.
So, and you had Kevin Costner there.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's big time.
That was just kind of cool. But kind of a cool deal, man. I mean, how they just taken that. They built that field in that cornfield way back to do that movie, and it's just never died, and it's only grown.
Right. Well, when you got something that's really good and it's supposed to be natural, that's what happens, I feel, right? I mean, that had to be magical. Think about that for the fans watching 3 home runs. Was it back-to-back-to-back home runs?
No, because 2 of them were on the Yankees and one of them
Got
was
it.
by
Got it.
the
But
White
still,
Sox.
3 home runs. I mean, that's still impressive.
Dude, in the ninth inning, that's
Yeah.
crazy. In a game that was like that?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But absolutely. Well, then again, there's not a lot to do in Iowa. Let's be honest, man. No professional sports. It was the first whoever hit, I can't remember, but whoever hit the first home run in that game hit the first professional home run in the history of the state of Iowa.
Wow. That's fun. Wait.
Major league home run.
Major league. Okay, I was going to say, they got to at least have some the Hawkeyes, baseball, and probably some minor league systems. That's pretty still impressive.
All kinds of it, man. We already got a bunch of people on with us. Brian's on with us. He's in Orleans.
Nice.
All right, just down south, not too far down. Brian, we appreciate you, brother. Welcome along. Chris asking if my daughter's packed up. I can answer that question without even knowing, and I don't know, but I can answer that question. No, I take that back. I'm sure she has a great mother, and I'm sure her mom's got that deal done, because I have to take off as soon. Charlie, I have spent all week moving myself, and I finished last night close to midnight.
Okay.
That's just the moving part. If you could actually see what I have to come back home to.
Right.
But I leave today as soon as the show's over, heading to Oxford, Mississippi, or heading down, meeting up with them and heading on to Oxford, Mississippi, going to Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Nice. Ole Miss.
It's move-in weekend, man. It's move-in weekend.
No, exactly. For your daughter. Congratulations. That's good stuff.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to the 7.5-hour drive to Oxford, Mississippi and back tomorrow.
Right.
No, how have you been, man? What's been going on with you this week?
Good. I just got back last night about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning from I was right outside of Seattle at a basketball camp. So good week. Fun, great kids, great coaches that supported the camp. So back in the saddle, man. I had a workout this morning at 6:30. As soon as I basically got back to sleep, had to get back up, get to the gym.
Grinder, man. That's why you're a warrior. Tim Tebow said he can't wait to see Xavier and see how Xavier and Bates play tonight. Well, you're not going to get to see that.
Yeah.
You can hear about it if you go to thehoosier.com, because they'll be doing a live thread along with that.
Good.
Along with their 2 minutes of video that they're allowed to have. Everyone can show a total of 2 minutes of video. Wyatt Street digging on the Hoosiers. Oh, yeah, I had to bring that back over to the studio. Brian says, hey, guys, Jim and John, have a safe trip. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that very much. Ross just read, that's one article I won't promote. Brian, let's see. Today, Brian says, hey, Charlie, how you doing?
Doing well. Thank you, Brian.
Wyatt is on board as Jose Abreu. Oh, man, there you go. I was talking about some baseball, man. Well, there you go. There's the answer to that.
That's really the home run?
Yeah, well, at the walk-off, man.
Walk-off, wow.
The walk-off.
Wow.
Can you imagine being in that stadium, in that environment? I mean, here's the best thing, Charlie, if you didn't see it. The outfield is the corn still. So these home runs are going into the corn, man.
Wow.
The first home run barely went over, and it went into like the first or second row. Then I saw Judge hit one out of right field, and it was back there. And then another guy hit one, it was back there. I'm like,
that's amazing,
funny.
Man.
It was hilarious.
That's good. I mean,
they would have had. They could have had some kids out there, some children running into the corn.
Mm-hmm.
Get it? Children of the corn.
Oh, I see. I see where you were with that.
Oh, hey, hello.
I just like that. Who knows if it's COVID related, but I like how a lot of sports venues are starting to think out of the box as far as what they're doing. And it's bringing a lot of excitement to me, to the sport, like the NBA with the playoff system. I know the players didn't like it, but I thought the past playoffs in the NBA were very competitive because of that play-in system that they developed. I'm liking how these sports are starting to think outside the box instead of being so in that traditional realm. Like playing in Iowa.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Every player to a man loved it.
Yeah.
They talked to him. Indiana Creek Walker's with us. We'll make sure to say him. Let's see. All right. So Brent. Actually, I said that's Jose Abreu hit the first home run out.
Got it.
The one that went into the first row or whatever. And then let's see. He corrected. Then Tim Anderson hit the walk-off for the White Sox. Let's see. I'm loving my Children of the Corn. I've never even seen that movie. just know about it. I don't know.
Right. It was a cult classic.
Indiana football, a little transfer information there. You probably may not be aware of. Samson James, one of their top running backs, hit the transfer portal for the second time. He wasn't going to get the starting job, is what it seems to be. Stephen Carr from USC has come in, but I don't think it's just that. It's the guys behind him, I guess. I'm like, man, competition's competition, man.
Yeah,
You gotta.
It has to be more than that. I mean, you're not just, again.
Second time in the portal, Charlie.
Exactly.
That's after he flipped from Ohio as being an Ohio State commitment to Indiana.
Yeah. So he has commitment situations. I'm not going to call them issues. He has commitment situations. And
I love that.
When he figured out, no one probably told him anything, because I guarantee there's no promises anywhere. When he figured out he may not be able just to do a little bit of work to get a lot of reward, it wasn't going to work. So you said the word flip out, pun intended, he's flipping out, because he can't get away with probably that little bit of work ethic that he may have. I don't know the kid, no situation, but I'm only looking into what you're sharing. This is his second time in the portal. Yeah, he's looking for buyers, and buyers beware is pretty much what's going on. Because you don't leave a program like Indiana, especially with what you got going on with the coaches in the trajectory of winning that they're doing. Something's up.
You just brought a coach in from the Kansas City Chiefs who's 2 seasons removed from winning a Super Bowl, who just was playing with Patrick Mahomes and all those guys. So, I mean, dude, you're going to learn a lot there.
Yeah, something's up. I wish the best for the kid. I'm hoping that he's getting good insight from people, but he's looking for a situation where he can be that person to get all the carries. And it may seem like Indiana may not be it.
That's why we love Charlie. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have to even know about it. Just dangle it in front of him. Like, oh yeah, no, I see that. Yeah. It's like he's like Anne Frank. Just run in front of him. He can read it, man. I'm telling you. Hey, we got more coming up. John, I know we've got Alec Lasley joining us. We've got Matt Byrne. We're coming live from the Bahamas. What else do we have coming up?
We have them two, and then we have some sound, and Matthew will be joining us at 10:20. I can confirm that now.
All right. Looking forward to it. We'll talk about what happened yesterday in the open practice. They had an open practice that reporters were allowed in. Tonight is the game, 7:30. Mega BC. We'll talk about that more with Charlie. I'm sure he's familiar with those guys. Since 2014, a little nugget for you. They've placed, I think, 14 guys have been drafted from that from program. So that's what you're looking at. That's more than Indiana and Purdue combined.
Oh, man.
So you're dealing with, and they've got a top prospect right now. We're back. Forrest jumps in. The truth is with us.
Nice.
So I love getting that up as well. Hey, guys, we're back with more from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios right after this.
We'll be right back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington.
Hey, Hoosier fans, whether you're... The truth is funny, man. He always says, send money, send food.
That's funny. Hey, Jim, I'm about to go make some coffee, if you don't mind.
You know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Appreciate you, brother. Hey, can you
Morning, Alec.
Morning. How you doing?
Good. They both ran off to make coffee.
Did you get my email yesterday?
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. The one about putting the show on the front page or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm going to give that.
So when I was doing when it was the Archie Miller radio show, it would only pick up like certain aspects of the title. So I think if you just make it the full title instead of ISB, it should pick it up.
Now, on the site, though, it's listed as the Hoosier.com radio show.
Yeah, but right underneath it, if you look at what the title is, it says Indiana Sports Beat Recap. So I think as long as you have Indiana Sports Beat in the title, I don't know if it has to be exactly Indiana Sports Beat Recap, but if it has Indiana Sports Beat, it should get up.
And that needs to be posted in the threads?
Yeah, I would make that the thread title, but then I think you should be fine after that. If not, then you may have to adjust the title for the article and try to squeeze in Indiana Sports Beat. I know it's tough because you only get 75 characters, but you may have to try to rearrange some of the words in there to try to generate that so it kind of populates on that homepage.
We'll see. If not, I think it's been fine. The fact that it pops up whenever I post it to the main portion of the site, it still shows up. But if he wants it on there permanently, like on that main front page without moving because of other newer stuff.
Yeah, I can hear you, Jim.
Yeah, I think Greg is who actually changed whatever you call it. It's not the algorithm, but whatever you call the punch in, the Indiana Sports Beat stuff, that can be changed to ISB.
But Greg,
to whatever it needs to be changed, things to shorten it to make it easier.
I guess Mike is Greg the one who would do that then? Because Ryan didn't know what to do with that since he wasn't there.
Hey, we got 10 seconds.
Greg did it.
Sam's Clubhouse, Sam's Restaurants, professionals in the art of food and drink.
Today's guest is brought to you by Reynolds Family Dentistry of Solersburg. You need $1 million smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you'll get with Reynolds Family Dentistry.
Now back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Here's Jim Coyle.
Yes, sir. TGIF. I was like, is it really Friday? It is. Alec Lasley's with us. Charlie Miller's with us. Lots of basketball, Indiana basketball, of course, down in the Bahamas, taking on BC Mega tonight, Alec, at 7:30. And for those who aren't familiar with BC Mega, before we left in the break a second ago, I told everyone that I think since 2014, they've had 14 picks into the NBA draft. I think, is that right?
Yeah, they had one or two before 2014, but since 2014 hit, they've had, I think, at least 2 players drafted in every single draft except for like 2 of them. I think 2020 was the only draft that I don't think they had a single player. But since 2014, they've at least had 1, if not 2 players drafted. And most of them are, I think 5 or 6 are still rotational players, if not better, in the NBA. So a lot of people, I think, are kind of underplaying the talent that BC Mega has had in the past and still currently has. They still have a lot of really, really talented players. And again, they're a professional team, which no matter where you're playing, no matter who's on that roster, a professional roster is still going to be better than a college roster, no matter where you're playing. So I think people need to have those expectations going in that this is a learning experience for Indiana. And no matter what the outcome of the games are, it's going to benefit Indiana going into this season.
I'll tell you right now, having Charlie Miller here right now after that statement you just made is perfect. Charlie has been on both ends of that and knows exactly what you're talking about and the differences of being on each end of that. Charlie, all I got to do is lob that softball up to you, man. Knock her out of the park.
I might switch hit on that one.
You'll lay down a left-hand bunt.
Having fun. No. What I'm really looking forward to hearing about is when you have a program like a BC Mega, Alec, you said it, they're professionals. So the way they are going to approach this game is going to be slightly different. And one thing that also BC Mega may have that we don't have is they're going to have a lot of continuity. If you're bringing the same players that's probably been with you, probably 1 or 2 players are probably testing out, who knows, but they know their system. And there's going to probably be a lot of trust because that's what's happened at the professional level. It's like what Nick Saban would say, do your job. You do your role. So I think it'd be really good for our players to, as Coach Mike Wilson was talking about, galvanize, play together, see what happens, explore. But you're going to play against professionals. And I think I mentioned this before, Jim, Alec, I'd love to hear your take on this. I feel the referees are going to swallow that whistle. That whistle will not be blown as much. And I think that's going to probably be something that was probably talked proactively. Hey, let our guys play through this. It's a practice in a sense. We got to see where we're at. So I think the temperament of certain players like Xavier Johnson, I just read about, the mental side of the game with him and Dane Fife. Dane talking about, hey, you've been taken out of games because of your tendencies of reaction towards what you can't control. So I'm curious to hear about those little things because that's what's going to play a big role coming up in the season opener and then when you get to the Big Ten.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I mean, you heard about it in the.
You both can't comment on. I know that was I know it was a lot. I'm sorry. I just robbed it. I went back in the day and grabbed it from behind, and I'm joking.
That was it.
No, you're absolutely right though, because in the Olympics, the U.S. national team said the exact same thing, that the refs don't call as much as they do in the NBA, and they weren't used to that. And I think that's the biggest thing when you do play against a lot of these European teams is they're just so much more physical than a lot of the U.S. players are used to, because they get that physical play over in the States here, but it tends to be a foul, and they're looking for that foul. And so when they search out that body contact, they're not ready to have to play through it. And especially if you look at 17, 18, 19-year-olds that Indiana has a lot of going up against 24, 25, 26 plus year olds for BC Mega, not only is the body structure going to be entirely different, but just the style of play and the mentality is going to be different. So yeah, I mean, you're going to have to definitely change the way that you're approaching this game for Indiana. But I think that's only going to benefit them going into the Big Ten, where it is a more physical style of play. So if they're going to be used to whistles maybe not being blown as much as usual, they're already going to be prepared for that. So that's why it's just going to be super beneficial for any outcome that happens this week.
That's the first thing that I was thinking about was the Big Ten play. I mean, throughout the season, which is odd though, Charlie, because they've got to get through a season where you have to beat and bang. And I think that Coach Whitson has openly said he has told the officials to swallow the whistles. But you've got to get through a season where you have to do this, but then you have to be able to adjust. And I hate to use them as an example, but they're just the easiest punching bag for this right now is Purdue in the tournament last year. You could say the Big Ten as a whole, but their game particularly showed that they were a one-dimensional team and were just caught off guard when it was at Texas Southern. I can't remember. Punched him in the mouth with
North
Texas,
speed.
North Texas. They were just smaller but faster, and Purdue was just the whole time like, what just happened? They went from this Big Ten style of play where it's lumbering and big boys and battling, beating, and it wasn't that, and they got caught off guard. So you've got to be able to play both, and I think that Coach Woodson is trying to build that. When we hear talk about Race Thompson grabbing a rebound and bringing the ball up the floor, top tempo, getting it going. And that's exactly what he's talking about, using it both ways, which is exactly what you're going to have to do. And I think that puts him a step ahead already.
Well, and I think in a sense, I mean, what you're talking about, what Alec talked about, you just got to, for me, you got to be open to adjust and adapt to the situation, because what better way to get tested than play against a bunch of professionals, right? And they're gonna be witty and cagey, meaning seasonal. They're gonna get little knick-knack fouls. They're gonna know how to do small things. That's gonna teach us a lot of lessons. Whether the scoreboard is turned on or off, I think that's gonna pay dividends for us, because now we're also gonna have feedback. We're gonna have performance feedback. We're gonna have film. You're gonna have actual film as early as August, you can draw on to actually make your practices that much more better. That's what I like about the situation. The wins and losses, almost like just like what Coach Popovich says with the USA team. It's good that we lost. It's good, right? It's because it's good because what I want to see again. I'm not saying anybody's going to do this. Foul's not called. Palm's going to go up. Hey, that's a foul. That little small stuff that just lingers to the next play, or is it going to be next play, best play mentality? That's kind of what I'm after. I know I may not be able to see that, but I just want to hear about that.
Tim from New Albany asked, after the Bahamas trip, they have 2 months before the season starts. Is there a chance of having another secret scrimmage? I doubt that. But I have no input in that at all, Alec. But I wouldn't imagine after playing these 2 games, I would think that there's a limit on how much of that you can do, even though this is out of the country. So I think that there's it's crazy rules, what counts and what doesn't count. So, but I don't think that they will. There's nothing. I have not heard anything about that. That doesn't mean something can't be added, because that stuff gets added all the time. And the way things have changed in college athletics, who knows? You've got pro NFL teams that are doing a little bit more of that scrimmaging, inter-squad scrimmaging, but I don't think that's going to happen, Alec.
Yeah, I think last year, obviously, still with COVID, the past 2 years, they're going to be a bit hesitant to put in a lot of off-season travel with other teams. So I don't think that's going to happen, and especially if you throw in an international trip, they're probably going to focus solely on what Charlie said, watching the film, getting better that way. Because, again, I think playing in 2 international exhibitions is going to be a lot more beneficial than going and playing any other college team at this point. So that's where I think it's going to end for them. And then they'll get ready, obviously, for the regular season.
Charlie, what was it like as a student, as a college athlete, to participate? Did you ever play against guys that were like this, that are just, it's not even just an older college team. This is a pro team, although the age might not be that different. These are guys that came up through different systems that didn't have to follow the same high school progression. So they've been getting, some of them obviously been getting a lot of different coaching and all of that. So did you get to play in college against a level that was this high?
No, we didn't. We didn't play against any. Yes, we did. Matter of fact, we did. I forget the country, but we would play against the Athletes in Action, right? That Christian organization,
right.
Was filled with a bunch of former college players, and they were actually barnstorming, getting ready to go overseas.
Yeah, I remember that, for
like mission trips. So you would play against some perennial players that has some great careers in college. I remember playing against our very first game, my freshman year. We played against a team from another country that was a professional team. That was a great experience, because you got a chance again to see, what it's like at that level. I didn't know about FIBA at that time, but yeah, you're playing against a lot of people, 24, 25-year-old people, plus in age you're 17, 18. So it's a whole nother experience. But I think the exposure of basketball has kind of created like a parity where you're kind of almost used to that in a sense. So I'll be just curious to see again how well we balance out. Are there going to be some things that we can see that we can really get better from this trip?
I know a lot of Indiana fans, Alec, or say, "Oh, Indiana's going to win." Blah blah blah. If they win this game or these games, I think that's going to be a surprise. I mean, this is a good team. Mega BC is a good team. You've got a high NBA prospect on there. They've got a good point guard. They've got size. Beating these guys would be an achievement with Indiana's it's a patchwork team. It is a patchwork team. You've got 6 new faces. Yeah. Some of them are freshmen. Some of them aren't. But all of them are new faces. Yeah. And then every face is playing a new offense and a new defense. So you've got so much newness. It still smells like a new car, man. Winning these games, that would be huge for Indiana, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at it, I think that was the expectation going in, and now with the news that Logan Duncombe and Michael Dorr aren't going to be playing for most likely either of the two games, you're kind of stuck in a situation where now you're not even going to have a full roster that's going to be there. You're not going to have a full front court, so it's going to be still an entirely different.
Probably one of the worst places against Omega BC that you could probably be hurt because they're a big team.
Yep, and exactly. You're going to see probably a lot of Miller Kopp and Jordan Geronimo playing that small ball 4. Miller Kopp's not going to play the small ball 4 once the season gets here. So you're just going to see a lot of, again, just different lineups, different rotations. You're going to see a lot more guard rotations out there, which I think is going to be extremely interesting and fun to watch. You have a ton of talented players in the backcourt with a ton of different versatile skill sets, and I think you're going to see guys like Rob Finney play a few different positions in a few different roles this week. Xavier Johnson, Parker Stewart, guy like Greg Alec, who a lot of people haven't really talked about, that Mike Woodson mentioned as being one of the top 5 offensive players through stretches this offseason. Yep. And so you look at all these guys, and we haven't even talked about Christian Lander or Anthony Lill or any of these other ones too. So, I mean, the backcourt rotation, I think, is going to be now even more interesting to watch. Guys like Tamar Bates, I think, is going to have a pretty good week or 2 games, I think, in my mind, just due to his competitive nature. I know, obviously, we've all talked to him here, and he's ready to go. He's done a lot this offseason to put himself in position to be one of the top players on this roster, and I think he's going to be, with that competitive mindset. Him and Xavier Johnson are kind of the 2 guys that are going to be probably a little bit more of those emotional leaders already this week. And like Charlie mentioned, if those fouls aren't called, it's going to be interesting to see a guy like Xavier Johnson, how he's going to be able to mature from last year, where he did have a very kind of short leash with his temper. And just see he's developed. Everything that we've heard from him, talking to him this offseason, has been extremely good in the way that he's developed, and the way that he's becoming a leader. And so I think he's going to be. Yeah, I think he's going to be something that's going to be fun to watch too. There's just so much that come out of that backcourt, and I think due to the fact that you don't have 2 frontcourt players, it's going to put even more of an emphasis on it. But I think regardless, it was going to be an extremely fun 2 games to watch out of that unit.
Absolutely, but now it changes, Charlie, what they are going to achieve because of those different opportunities. Now, instead of attacking with a full complement of your big men, well, now you've got to go in a different direction, and you're really shorthanded on your bigs. You've only got 2, which is what they had last year, but that's part of the reason why they weren't very successful last year. And to not have that, any thoughts on why these guys aren't going to be playing yet, Alec?
A lot of it was just precautionary for injury-related issues. I know Logan Duncombe went through practice yesterday, so a lot of it's just precautionary, not a huge deal. But I think they want to make sure that, again, this is going to be a learning experience for everyone, but they want to make sure they also go back to Bloomington healthy and fully healthy, and there's no serious injury to come from it. So it's all precautionary at this point.
Well, we can get Charlie to suit up. He is still in shape. I promise you. He's out there every day doing it. But that's how you stay that way.
You know what?
Right,
Another thing I probably want to add to that, just to add as a thought, because it's probably going to be more of a physical game, they probably want to conserve their 2 bigs and not bang too much. And again, if they had small injuries, minor things, and again, it's like, okay, hey, what if we do have to play down the stretch with 2 players that are our bigs that are not available? How can we adapt and adjust, right? So, and again, though I'm not putting too much stock into this this 2-game round robin they have, what do you want to call it? And I think being on more of the conservative side of saving bodies, minutes, being fresh, I think it's more about what I'm promoting more than anything. So, yeah, I really don't see too much into, those two guys not being available. Even though, again, they're your two biggest guys, I totally understand that.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I don't know if it has any bearing of them being the two newest guys.
Right.
They're both freshmen.
Yeah.
That means they're both out of high school.
Yeah.
I don't know if that played into it at all or not. Obviously,
Yeah.
No idea. But it does change what they're able to accomplish in the offense that they're going to have to run, the style of offense they're going to have to run. But the guys that were here last year, that won't be any different for them. So,
Right.
But it'd be interesting to see. Let's see. What was the next comment I was looking for? Tim said that maybe they could scrimmage the women's team. That would not even.
I was gonna say that, but I left it alone because I was like, heck, you don't have to go further than going after a team that's right next door to you as the women's team. They figure something out. You might want to play against them.
Tom says, and he's an official, says NCAA combination of 2 exhibition game scrimmages only. We need to get Tom on YouTube Live. Mike Ham says that new car smell, it makes it seem like a great buy. Nothing can go wrong. Well, don't say that, man. Don't put the big jinx on them. Big Pete Clausen up north in Minnesota. Why would anybody live in Minnesota? I always wondered that. I always ask Pete that. Almost no reason to even keep score. Although everyone is competitive, it's all about win or loss. It's all a win, bonding time, extra practice time, competition. Just hope the show promise.
Swimming with the Dolphins.
I talked about that. Yes, I mean, have you ever done something like that? I mean,
no. I mean, with family,
with team like that.
Yeah, I mean
that kind of a team thing because
I did a team.
Swimming with the Dolphins, especially. I can imagine doing something like swimming with the Dolphins, which I've never done. But and I don't care, white, black, it doesn't matter. But if you come from a lower socioeconomic deal, you've never swam the damn Dolphins.
Yeah, it's not even a thought.
And now you're from Miami, so that's different. But I'm talking about a kid that's from.
Yeah, you're not thinking about that. But you're not thinking about that. But that's good.
That probably
stuff,
does create some great bonding, though. When you're,
But I looked at the little Twitter page. It was kind of cool. The editing, like whoever did it, like, and the little red running like water at the end. It was like pretty impressive. But my experience, to share short story, I was in Geneva, Switzerland, and we climbed one of the Alps. They didn't tell me. Not saying I was a big deal, but they didn't tell me because they didn't want me to know. They probably knew I was going to shut it down because it's like, why would we climb out? What is that as team bonding? But it was pretty impressive. 2 hours up, 2 hours down. You have to rappel down by 150 feet in the air. You got that belt on you. You're rappelling down. It was, I mean, just amazing experience. I've never done something like that. So that was like totally new on team bonding. It's just out of the box. So that was good. They're swimming with the Dolphins, having fun, being in Bahamas, and taking in time, relaxing. That's pretty impressive to see.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Let's see, where are we? We're at break time, huh? Alec, what is coming up next for you? What can the fans look forward to? I know of the Hoosier.com, you've got to keep them. There is no television, no radio. People keep asking. I'm like, nope, there is no radio. I even had Todd Leary asking me last night. He's like, man, are these games broadcast? And nothing. And it's so the Hoosier.com will have a live thread going. They will have their 2 minutes of video up at Alec. Is that going to be in increments where you can get a highlight up? How is that going to happen? And at the end, you'll have the whole 2 minutes, but are you going to get things up and out as the game goes along?
Yeah, the video is most likely going to be after the game, just so we're going to be able to put together like a full 2 minutes of exactly what happened, some offense, some defense, transition, get a little mix of everything. But yeah, we'll have notes, observations, recaps of everything, and then be able to talk to obviously Coach Woods, some of the players after the game, and kind of see obviously what they felt like getting out there for the first time. So we'll have a little bit of everything up from the game tonight, and then obviously going into to Sunday as well with that final game.
All right, make sure you do it. Alec's got to go. Thanks, Alec. Appreciate you. Look forward to doing it again and hearing from all the information over the weekend or tonight and on the games and then in between. So go to thehoosier.com and make sure you get complete coverage there. And we'll see that. You have a great weekend, brother.
I appreciate it, guys.
See you,
Take
Alec.
care.
Yes, sir.
You bet. Hey, we got more coming up. Matthew Byrne is going to join us as well. We're going live from the Bahamas, and we'll see what else we can get into as the Pacers are blitzing it. They had a big game last night in the NBA Summer League. Fun. That thing is just fun to watch, Charlie. We got to get off here, but we'll talk about that when we come back, too. I'm enjoying watching the NBA Summer League. Indiana Sports Beat Radio back after this.
We'll be right back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Whether you're looking for...
I didn't know he had to go for that.
Oh, for Toe and Tracy. Excuse me. Sorry, I thought you knew he did that every week.
Well, I do, but that doesn't mean I think about that in the middle of the show. I'm going to go get one more cup of coffee because I'm going to need it. It's going to be a 3-cup day.
Man. One cup of coffee does it for me.
Say it again,
Did
Joe.
you say, Charlie?
No, I'm saying, what did you say?
I said one cup of coffee does it for me. I'm good after one.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it's double. Sometimes it is triple. Sometimes it's just something to drink. That's my new water sometimes, man.
That's there. I have drank coffee just to drink something before.
Yeah, sometimes it's just something to drink. You know,
It slides right through me though sometimes, so I got to watch it.
True.
Hey, I made that as PG as possible.
Exactly.
Doug Wilson says 3 cups. That is amateur hour.
True. Yeah, because again, sometimes you just drink the drink, and you don't want water, man.
Do you drink it black, Charlie?
Oh, that's the only way I can take it, bro.
Hey, I'm with you. Only black coffee.
Yeah. Or if I'm drinking anything, it's I was gung ho. I got an espresso machine. Oh man,
Oh, yeah?
when I first got it, John. Oh my God, I straight messed up so many cups until I got it right on the front.
Oh man.
Oh man, but no, I got it now down to the science, and I like, if I'm gonna drink anything, I like to froth the milk, obviously with the espresso and
Okay.
with the coffee beans. So, but other than that, it's sometimes when like this, just straight black with a little
That's
sugar.
right. Sometimes I put a little sugar if I need a little extra kick, but mostly it's just black.
Have you ever tried bulletproof coffee?
No, I have not.
That's coffee with butter.
Butter. Okay. Interesting.
Bulletproof. Yeah. It's supposed to help you curb your eating, and actually it does.
Interesting.
It does.
All right, I'm gonna bring us back in.
How about a new 2020 Honda Civic LX front-wheel drive lease for just $180 a month, or a new 2021 Honda Accord LX front-wheel drive lease for just $270 a month? Andy Moore Honda Bloomington, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer.
Come see us at the all-new Andy Moore Honda, now in Bloomington.
This segment is brought to you by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Now back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Here's Jim Coyle.
Welcome back, TGIF, and we got Charlie Miller with us, man. What a way to end the week. Indiana plays Mega BC tonight in the Bahamas. What else? Oh, all right. I'm just happening to be looking at TweetDeck, and I've got one row that just it's my home row, everything rolls by, and Jose Canseco had retweeted something about himself. The only reason I bring this up is he is my most famous, funniest, oddest, but most famous follower. And I think it's because he's in Las Vegas, but I remember the day is like Jose Canseco followed you, and I was like, what?
What?
Why?
Right.
But he's in Las Vegas, and I think he's connected to a gambling outlet or something. But it still cracks me up. I'm just like, what?
That's great
It's
insight.
funny.
You got
It's funny.
some insight. You got some
It's
insight.
funny though.
I like that.
It's just funny though to think, because every time I say the name, all I think of is that ball bouncing off of his head and out in right field and bouncing out for a home run.
Oh,
I
love you back.
The Eye Association or Indiana Sports Beat Radio loves the Eye Association and Brian Brass, or Brian Brass, I think is the correct pronunciation. Speaking of a great guy, he is one of the truly great people at Indiana. That is true. And that's the thing about any place. It's the people. And that's what it was so good about Indiana for so long. That's Brian, you bring up a great man. That's a topic you just brought up. There was always so many great people in every key position. President, not always at AD. Right now, I think that I'd have to go back and do some research, but I think that they could be right now in the best position they have in that regard, like president.
Right.
She's not been here very long, but I think that she just seems like, being from Southern Indiana, I was close to U of L down there, so I'd always know what was going on. Right. And Neely Bendapudi was hired as their president a few years ago. And I think originally she's from India or whatever, but when she came in, you could tell she just absorbed and just put a big old bear hug on that school and the athletics program and said, hey, I'm a part of you, man. And that's how I see President Witten being the exact same way at Indiana. And with Scott Dolson as AD right now, I truly think that he has just been grooming for this job for 30 years.
I mean,
and
right.
he has truly been grooming for this job for 30 years, and they haven't had an AD. Again, I'd have to go back and talk with Floyd's and all the old guys, but they haven't had a guy like that in a long time. He's an IU guy, number one, but he has gone through so many different areas of what he's doing that he knows those areas. He's been around so many coaches from Bob Knight up as being a manager for Bob Knight. Obviously a very, very smart guy. So you put that situation in for a school, I can't imagine. And I will promise you that President Witten will have nothing but complete confidence in Scott to say, well, what's the decision? You tell me. And I think that too many times that's not the case, that the president makes a decision. And again, I keep talking about that all the time. Why on earth the ADs are the ones that should be making the decision? Right. Never should be a president but anyway, my point is, I think Indiana as a school is in as good a shape as they have possibly been in ever in that area, president and AD at one time. And if you look at their top, what I call the top 6 sports, and I've been saying this for a while now, they're all going to be ranked this year. I mean, you've already got the football program, which we know. Basketball I'm confident that they're going to be ranked and they'll be a tournament team. Women's basketball, we already know what they're like. Men's soccer, we know they're a national player year in, year out, will continue to be. Women's soccer was now ranked this year. Coach Benacom coming in, he's from the Netherlands originally, but and then came in from Duke. He's got this trust me, this winning mentality, I've talked to him enough to know that I know it's different. It's not this good old same old, nope. And that's why they were ranked. They went from being Indiana women's soccer was just a middling program. They were ranked last year. So you got, and then baseball. So man, when you can have your top 6 programs ranked, there's not a lot of schools that can say that.
Yeah, one of the things I want to share, you talk about Scott Dolson, you got to think about this too. You know, we can highlight his roles. He's been there. He's been a part of the program for at least 30 years. But you got to go with the unwritten roles, all of the insights and inside information that he's received for over the years of what could be better. Watching also other athletic directors when he was not near that role, knowing probably what could be better, what can be done, waiting for that opportunity, right? So, and being around, being a basketball person, being around the program, I think that's just really helped him relate with all of the other sports. So, you know, he's what I would call an emergent leader. I mean, it's like, you know, what's an emergent leader? Somebody who started off literally on the fries. They started off at Chick-fil-A on the fries, and Chick-fil-A University said, hey, man, we want to get you your own store. You helped us with the fries, the chicken, then you helped us balance the books. We want you to get your own store. That's literally organic growth. And what better person than Scott Dolson? And that when you talk about good people, Indiana to me, overall, as an outsider from Florida, who people took me in 94, 98, still to this day, just good people because it's organic development. It's not fake. It's all organic. I think it's from Tim Gall, who's still with the program, who still holds me accountable. Hey, get up here, come check in. You know, Scott Dolson, who's the AD. Just, I mean, there's nothing else to say about it other than that. And now you're bringing in top coaches. You know, that's pretty impressive.
He started in the mailroom, baby.
Hey, man, it is. I'm being real. He started off that, then basketball manager, as we keep talking about, and look now out at what he's accomplished. I mean, that's organic growth. You deserve to be in that role, and you're going to do everything you can with daily pride and joy to hold every coach accountable, and also make sure the young men and women that are participating in sports are getting the most out of these experiences.
I put that up a second ago. Doug Wilson says 3 cups is amateur hour.
Yeah.
He can say that, you know, because it's cold and rainy all winter down in Perth Town, Australia, Charlie. We've got listeners all over the world, man.
Yeah, good stuff.
Which I haven't seen him with us in a while. So great to see you back.
Wow.
But
nice.
All right, you need to do a basketball camp in Australia, and I get to go if that happens.
Yeah, Perth. Oh my God, Perth is
Doug
beach,
Wilson. Doug Wilson put together a basketball camp for Charlie Miller in Australia, and we will be doing the show from Perth Town, Australia. Now, that would be now, of course we'd have to do the show at probably at 11 or 12 o'clock at night, because they're like a day and a half in front of us. Exactly. I don't even know.
Yeah, we
would do this. We would have to do today's show tomorrow.
Right.
I think it's one of those deals that happens.
Who knows?
Hey, this is Thursday, but we're actually doing Wednesday or whatever. Yeah, but
that's beautiful.
Absolutely. Let's see. Matt Allen says bullet bourbon in his coffee. That's his bulletproof coffee.
I like that.
That's a start, man. That'll sure start to get you started.
That's a downer. I don't know where I'm going with that one.
Matt Allen says he loves watching A-League soccer at 5 a.m. Aussie. Man, you guys are warriors getting up that early. But that's like, let's see. Doug says, could you imagine Jim on your coffee?
Oh, wow.
Oh,
meaning
he's talking
if you
about
enjoy that bourbon coffee.
Yeah.
And he might-
That's
he might
exactly
he
that's
might be
exactly
on the
how
right
Harry
line.
Carey. I guarantee you that's how Harry Carey would take his coffee.
Wow.
I've told this story before, Charlie, but I may not have told it to you. It's my funnest. It may be my greatest sports story that I have, and it's when I was first starting out. I was working. I was a production assistant putts for CBS Sports, doing different stuff. We were in Cincinnati at the old Riverfront Stadium. We were playing the Cubs.
Right.
A girl that was doing the same thing. I had worked with her like the week or so before at the Kentucky Derby, and before the game, she says, "Hey, afterwards we'll go up in the booth and get Harry's autograph." Which I was like, "I don't care. I'm not a Cubs fan. I'm a Reds fan, man." But I always know the gravity. I'm like, "Oh, hey, it's Harry Carey." So I grab a couple of balls off the field after the batting practice during that day, and just stuffed them in my pockets, waiting for after the game. And so afterwards, we go up there and we go in the booth. He's done, he's standing up, and there's only 4 of us, and I'm the first one in line, and I've got the 2 balls. And hey, Mr. Carey, how are you? So would you mind signing my ball, sir? And sorry, he signs it. Here you go. And Mr. Carey, I had a really I had a guy that I knew that was a gigantic Chicago fan, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get one for this dude. He'll love it. He's not like a great friend, but it was an opportunity that he would never get. So I'm like, I'll do it. Mr. Carey, would you mind signing my ball for a friend of mine? No. I decided to get out of here. I'm like, all right. Well, I said, well, he's drunk enough. I'm just going to go behind these other 3 people. He's not going to pay attention. Remember me? He's got those big old Harry Carey glasses on, and so the 3 people go through, they get their ball signed, and I get up. Hey, Mr. Carey, would you mind? No, I signed your ball, you son of a. Now get the hell out of here.
Oh, wow.
So that was I got cussed out by Harry Carey. That was my favorite.
God.
I cherish that. I cherish that story, man. That is just awesome. I love it. So my friend did not get a ball signed by Harry Carey, but but I cherish that story. There's no one who's ever cussed me out that I cherish, and that is that with him. Hey, we're long for break. We gotta go. We'll be back with more tons of comments, but we're back with more right after this.
We'll be right back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington.
Hey, Hoosier fans, whether you're looking, and you Charlie, you got to leave after this, right?
Yeah. That was. I mean, it is what it is, man. But I had a story like that with Dennis Scott, former Dennis Scott,
for the Laker.
No, not Laker. Miami Heat, not Orlando Magic.
Was he even?
He was a good player. He could shoot it.
Was he?
He went to Georgia Tech. He went to Georgia Tech, and he played with Shaq and Nick Anderson. And I was able to hang out with Shaq, Nick Anderson, and him. It was a Friday or Saturday at someone's house, and I was in high school. Think of my senior year, and he said he was gonna give me his shoes after the game. Well, Miami Heat, they beat the crap out of him. I literally waited in like the hallway where I was able to go downstairs where the players would come in and out. He walked right by me when the game was over. When I said walk right by me and did not acknowledge what he said the night, man, I was livid because I waited like an hour. And, you can only imagine what I was saying to myself. Never again.
And you've been in man, this would be a great topic.
I
was going to say, because not that part about, who it is, but now you've been in that position.
Oh, exactly.
Stuck you, didn't it? So that's, I'd love to talk about it.
We definitely want to talk about that. Yeah. Because that's really buttholish of that. God rest him. But dude, we put you into, huh?
He passed away.
Carey, right? Is he?
Who?
Harry Carey. He passed
Oh,
away,
Harry
right?
Carey. Oh, yeah, he's
Yeah,
definitely dead.
him,
He's
yeah. But
pickled.
I'm saying like we people put you in position to be who you are. We put you in position, like, yeah, you're a commentator and you got your ways of doing things, but now here it is, someone's asking you for your signature. You at least can do that, whatever. But I mean, that's just my take on it. Not saying everybody got to be so obliging, but
Coming back.
yeah, cool.
Food. Sam's Ale House in Carmel and on 86th Street in Indy have a long list of craft beers and all of the right foods to go with. Plan a day on the links at Eagle Point in Bloomington, then stay for dinner at Sam's Clubhouse. Sam's Restaurants, professionals in the art of food and drink. This segment is brought to you by Remax Advanced Realty, Indy Home Pros team by Cheryl Sizemore. Now back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Here's Jim Coyle.
Welcome back, TGIF. And it is certainly that. Charlie Miller, the great, with us. We were just having before we left, I talked about my favorite sports story of all time, being cussed out by Harry Carey. And Charlie was telling a story in the break, but it actually led to something else, which I definitely want to talk about. You had a similar experience, but actually more personal, because you were actually, Harry Carey, I was a nobody. He didn't even know who I was.
Right.
It's nothing.
Right.
So, but this was not the situation for you. This makes it even worse.
Yeah. So I was fortunate enough as a high schooler, former baseball player that I was when I was younger.
Were you a pitcher?
Yeah, pitcher. Yeah, and it was actually my catcher. It was my catcher's dad who had a connection with Worldwide West. If you've ever heard of the name, you haven't looked this guy up.
Oh, yes. If you know about anything about basketball, you know Worldwide West. So I didn't know
So,
we were going to get Worldwide West on the
this.
show today.
I didn't know this at the time, but that's literally who arranged this sit down with basically what I think they call themselves the Three Musketeers at the time. It might have been a regional thing in Florida, but it was Shaquille O'Neal, Nick Anderson, and Dennis Scott. They were like the best three players for the Orlando Magic, and Shaq, I think, was like this is his second year, so like his sophomore campaign as a professional player. I appreciate all that, Pat. Let's talk to people at the school about that. But anyway,
well, is that it? Not. I don't want to interrupt the story.
No.
Is that something you would consider?
We'll
get back to it.
I would have talked to my my CEO, my wife. But yeah, something I definitely will consider. Yeah, that's what I'm putting myself in position for.
We'll come back to that. I was like, I can't.
But I'm putting
I couldn't
myself
let that
in
put
position.
down.
I'm putting myself in position, Jim. I'm putting myself in position to do some major things someday. So anyway, that was arranged because the cool part about it, this was like mythical. The following weekend, but the previous, this is so cool. My catcher's name was Jesse. Jesse said Michael Jordan was at his house the week before. Now, take this. Take this. Here it is. His brother's asleep. And he's like, hey, Michael Jordan's downstairs. He's like, yeah, right. Tell me when Santa Claus shows up. No joke. His brother woke up the next day and they saw the pictures. Was like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me? He told Mike was at their house the week before. Right. And who knows like the connection between Wes and the catcher's dad. But it was really good. Everything was above board. So anyway, I'm hanging out with those guys. We're laughing, joking, just hanging out with Shaq. And I mean, again, Shaq's larger than life, pun intended. Here's his second year in the NBA. I mean, he's everything to everybody. And I'm sitting here like joking with him about small stuff, laughing, having fun. They played Miami Heat the next night. Dennis Scott was like, hey, man, I'm going to give you my shoes tomorrow. Perfect. Oh, my God. Because I had like the slam dunk contest, literally. I had a slam dunk contest during halftime of the Miami Heat game, right? So going up there, we were doing all the dunks, whatever. the Miami Heat end up demolishing the Magic, Orlando Magic. So he might have been pissed off. Who knows? I'm in the back waiting to get my shoes. I'm so excited. Hung out with him last night. Told everybody go home. I'll see y'all later. Man, this dude walked right by me, Jim, as if I didn't even exist. He didn't even look at me. Went right by me. This is me. This is him. No stop. After a few choice words in my head, I was like, man, F you and everything that comes with that. And I've never seen him again. I almost had an opportunity because Brian Evans got drafted by the Heat. And I went to work out with Brian in Orlando one summer. And I still had that story ready to go.
Wyatt points out, I mean, this dude was a shooter.
No, he was, hey, look, man, I mean, that's what I looked up to. People like that. And for you not to give me your shoes and I still have a grudge, I see you today. It's on. I'm going to give you a lesson. And the whole moral of the story is, now I've been put in that situation, and I'm not trying to say you have to oblige to every gift or autograph, but we, the people, put you in position. Respect the people.
Well, when you make a promise like that, it's not like he was just walking off the floor and didn't throw them to or anybody.
Right. Well, I mean, lesson learned, right? But I mean, and I understand, everybody wants something from you and whatever it might be. But yeah, that was a bad taste I had in my mouth. That's my experience. But like just hearing your story with Harry Carey, you weren't a fan of his, a friend was. It was cool to do, but like, come on, man. I mean,
oh yeah, those are that's personal, and that would bother me. Mine,
and,
I love
and what,
you
and what he called funny. You, and what he called you. Well, I mean, I'm not whatever.
I love it.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah,
that one was different because it's drunk. It's a drunk Harry Carey, man. He's up there sauced, and I'm like going, love it.
Well,
he's been up there drinking Budweiser for 3 hours, man.
Right.
Or probably when he wakes up, he probably started drinking it. But
right.
But yeah, are you kidding me? Harry Carey after 4 hours in a radio booth, and Cincinnati was one of the places I remember this being up in the the media where the media are. They had a beer tap back then at Riverfront Stadium. I've never seen this before or after. They had a beer tap in where the media was allowed, the media lounge or whatever. And so, yeah, I promise you, Harry Carey sending dudes left and right to the bar, keeping him where it was back then. But that was just great, classic. That's classic old school stuff, man.
True.
And I love it because you don't have those guys anymore, it was funny. Let's see, where was Doug? There we go. I was gonna put this back up. Doug down in, he says Perth is untapped in talent, man. You got some immigrants from Africa, war-torn countries, and they're hungry for success. Man, you see this all the time. People going out and finding these guys, these gems. That's right. So we're going to Australia, man.
Set it up.
It's 52 degrees there in Australia today. Doug, when is summertime?
Yeah, winter is summer for us, and summer is winter for them.
So that means this winter we need to come up with pick a spot.
Yeah, so winter time there is when this is summer. Right.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That would be great. Let's see. Wyatt Street says he's got a grudge against Bryce Harper for a reason very similar to Charlie's. Can't stand that guy to this day.
Yeah, man. And it's like, nothing against it. Some, you come off, you're marketing, you do the right thing for the camera then, but it's like you get around people, I got a lot of other stories I don't want to share, but like, come on, man, we put you in position. Don't be that person. Like, I remember an actor saying, I'm not a celebrity. I should celebrate you because you're putting me in position to do these things. But everyone may not think like this particular actor, but I get it. I totally get it. Yeah.
Bryce Cotton. There you go, man. Write that name down. Bryce Cotton. for the Wildcats and ABA. I guess that's
ABA,
Australian
I like
Basketball League.
Australian Basketball
But,
League. Awesome. Yeah.
There you go. So we got to get this set up. I want to
Good.
see this happen. We're going to have the first ever Indiana Sports Beat Radio / Attack Basketball
Love it.
travel, international
here,
travel date. Canada, Australia, Japan.
You just said something that we got to talk about. Let's bring it up on air and let's hold each other accountable. I would love to do camps like that and then have broadcasting going on or some sort.
Or done deal. I think we need to start in Bloomington, and I've been wanting to do that.
Yes. Okay. So yeah. And I don't want to give this time. And I mean, I'm not trying to say like you said. I want to give this time where even if we talk about this,
for a while,
like a next fall, spring.
I don't want to wait. I want to do one. Got to do one.
If we can,
this year.
I'm with it. I mean, if we got enough marketing, which we're putting out there, and we, again, for me, 30, 40 kids, it's hell, I don't care if it's one kid that shows up. I'll treat it like it's 30 or 40. I'll have that much fun. But I think 30 or 40 plus kids would be great.
That should not be a problem in Bloomington. Folks out there, where would you like to see a camp? Or is there any people out there that have kids that have kids that play that are involved with teams, whether it's elementary or a junior high, it doesn't matter, even high school. So there's just all kinds of, or personal.
I like that.
Pete says he got yelled at off the Assembly Hall court by Coach Knight his freshman year. Him and a buddy snuck in and walked down to the court and checked it out. Then we got, what the hell are you doing? Exit stage left. Loved it.
Yeah, now Pete, that's a little different because
that's one you value though. I promise you.
Pete. And I think that's your. I think you wanted that. You got it, and now you got that story. A little different because because you probably shouldn't have been on the court as is. But I get it. Not saying it's right or wrong.
Well, I was young, still in school, I think, and I had a press conference, post-game press conference. I asked some question. It ended the press conference. It was like, yeah, I'm done. He would do that from time to time. If he didn't like a question, he would just, boom, that was it. So I kind of like that. I never had any, I got yelled at it by him or anything. So I don't have that. We did get to do an interview with him a long time ago, so that was good. Oh, well, actually, and I take great pride in this, and it's on it's my pinned tweet on my Twitter thing. I have unless someone tells me differently, what I believe is the first and only interview of Coach Knight on his return to the IU campus.
Oh, nice.
When he came back to the baseball game 2 years ago.
Nice.
And to my knowledge, that's the last interview with him on campus.
Nice.
I mean, he came back, of course, but those interviews were done with anything that he talked was with the school set up, and all that stuff. But as far as an organic, Coach Knight, blah, 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 it was only like 2 questions, but I'm like going, I'm proud as hell of that because that can't ever change now.
Exactly.
I was just fortunate. I remember I was sitting, we were at the baseball game. I think they were playing Penn State maybe, but I was sitting in the press box, which is small at the baseball field. And you knew something was going on. And I looked at the TV and you couldn't figure out what was happening. And finally I'm like, you realize that's Bob Knight. Is that here? Right. He's in a golf cart. I mean, I about ran over 3 people trying to get out of that press box, and was fortunate when I did that. Right after that, he comes riding by in that golf cart, but gave a great answer. I just asked him, Coach Knight, what's it like being back in Indiana? And he's like, well, I'm not sure. My wife's not here to tell me, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
But then I asked a second question, and then I asked a third question, which I really bobbled because right as I'm getting ready to ask her, or as I'm asking it, I felt a hand in my back. And I thought it was someone saying, hey, let's move along. So I was I'm like, hey, what's going on? It wasn't. Somebody was just trying to get by, but I was like, But
Right.
awesome, just an awesome opportunity. But yeah, I'm proud of that to have that and be able to say that. But hey, I think we got to take another break. We're late. We've got tongue to get to. Doug's asking, will Bobby be at games? Charlie, I don't think that. I don't think he will. But anyway, we got more. Charlie has to leave though, right?
Yep.
Charlie's got to be out for the day. Buddy, we appreciate you. Where are you headed this weekend? Are you able to stay home or anything?
I'm in right outside of Cedar Rapids. I'm in Mount Vernon, Iowa, for a camp. And then I'm back on Friday, just like what happened this week, Jim.
I know you probably have no control over that, but you should start trying to schedule, look at Indiana's away football games, Iowa, those places.
Yeah, well, camp season ends relatively soon.
Yeah,
because it runs up to when school starts, and then we have a fall season, which I only have one camp scheduled. Where I forget where I'm going. As I think about it, I forget where I'm going. But anyway, but yeah, it kind of runs up to it. But yeah, let's definitely keep talking about this Indiana Sports Beat attack basketball camp situation. And I always appreciate you guys out there that support the show. And I know we're over, John. We got to get off this thing.
it's all right. They and trust me, they love you. They absolutely do. I can say that with complete conviction.
I appreciate that.
Eric Owen asking or saying that Pat Knight followed through with big time on a promise to him and his family.
Pat is Pat's big time as is.
Do you talk to Pat?
No, I haven't talked to him in a while. I haven't talked to him in a while, but Pat is genuine. You feel Pat's heart. Pat's genuine, man.
Do you have his number?
I don't. If you give it to me,
I'm going to send you his number, and we need to get him on the show with you.
Yes, that'd be great. Please.
We'll do that. Charlie's got to run. We've got more coming up. Matt Byrne's going to join us live from the Bahamas, so we've got more coverage for you here. Charlie, brother, thank you so much for making us better every day. We appreciate you. Hey,
thank you all. Thanks for having me, Jim.
You betcha. Charlie Miller joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat this day, as he does each week. We're back with more Matt Byrne from the Bahamas right after this.
We'll be right back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Whether you're looking...
I'm an idea man, Charlie.
I didn't mean to rush you all off, but Matt was asking me stuff about...
I know, and I have to go too, so I appreciate it. No. Thank you, guys.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk, man. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you next Friday. Thank you.
Once I get by this weekend, I'm going. Yes. I'm leaving for Oxford, Mississippi in about 1 hour.
Hey, man, have a safe trip.
Thank you. You too. This is a safe weekend, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
All right.
Yeah, you can. Matt's just nervous because he doesn't.
No, well, I let him know that you were calling probably at a certain time, and I was trying to update him on what you all were doing, and I wasn't sure when you were actually going to break.
Probably you should have told him to start to watch the show up until.
That's true. Well, I thought he didn't have service. He couldn't see. That's why he couldn't join video wise, right? Or at least I remember him saying that yesterday.
Well, that was yesterday, but ask him today if he can join by.
Yeah, I told him you were calling him. I'll send him a link if he wants to do that, but I thought we were calling him again.
Hold on. Let me call him right now.
All right. Go ahead.
Stop. I don't. Damn it. Stop texting me, people. Matthew, there he is. I'd really like to have a shot of the Bahamas behind us. That would be kind of cool.
If you want to ask him if I can send him a link, I will.
Oh, can he send him the link so he has it?
Sounds good.
Yo. Hey, can you use the link today? The link. The video link.
Tell him I'm sending it right now.
He's sending it to you right now to your email.
No, to his phone. To his phone.
Like by text?
Yes, by text.
He's texting it to you. Probably easier if you email it to him.
It does the same thing.
Okay. Where are you physically located? Okay, do you have a balcony? Does it show the ocean?
We have 10 seconds.
Andy Moore Honda, Bloomington. Bloomington's number one Honda dealer.
Come see us at the all-new Andy Moore Honda, now in Bloomington.
Okay.
This segment is brought to you by Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
Now back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Here's Jim Coyle.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio, coming to you here on this Friday. And we're looking to join in with Matt Byrne from the Bahamas as he gets linked in with us. He is down covering for the Hoosier.com, Indiana Rivals, as no television, no radio. So what you can get, though, is a live thread that Matt will be providing. And we'll look forward to talking to him as soon as he gets on the link. I know I've got him on the phone right now. Matt, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Jim. How you doing?
Good. Have you got on the link yet?
Trying to get on the link right now. Give me a little bit of trouble.
No worries. Just keep trying. We'll keep talking to you along the way as you're doing it. Yesterday, you got to see practice. A rare.
I don't mean to interrupt. You need to have him hang up. You need to have him hang up so he can get on the link. He won't be able to use it if he's on the phone.
There you go. Bye-bye, Matt. Takes care of that. I can do that. You all must be Apple people, man. Android lets you do that. You can do two things at once. But you can't do. Actually, I can't do. That's right. I can't do that on my phone, can I? Because the times that I have tried that, it did not work. There he is.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. There you go. So let's open that window up, man. Is the window open?
Yeah, it was giving me a little connection problems out here, but I'll try to show a view.
Yeah, spin around. We want to see hotel there. Palm trees. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about.
That's the view.
Actually,
right
do you know how jealous I am right now?
I would imagine that you actually are pretty jealous. I mean, it's a great view. When I first got the room and I went to the window and I pulled back the blinds, it's pretty cool. And the palm trees are kind of in the way of the ocean. It's literally right there.
Oh,
right at it. So.
The palm trees are in the way of the ocean. That is a quote that I am going to live on for the next 4 or 5 days, especially as I'm driving to Oxford, Mississippi today. That's what I'm going to be thinking about. The palm trees are in the way of the ocean. I love that. Practice yesterday, man. Let's get down to nuts and bolts. You got to sit in front of practice yesterday, a rare opportunity for people to do. So talk about that. What did you see? What went on? What was that like?
Well, that was just pure observational. JD doesn't want us really talking about practice, but it was definitely a really cool experience just being able to be that close to the players. We're sitting courtside, so that was really cool. But some players were able to talk to the media afterwards, so I was able to talk to Miller Kopp, Tamar Bates, and Xavier Johnson.
In those conversations, those were recorded conversations?
Yeah, those were recorded conversations.
Okay, so are those up on the Hoosier.com now?
Right now, we're transcribing them, so they'll be up after some quotes are put in stories. So they'll be up eventually. Yeah.
Cool. Looking forward to that. What was it like? How did the conversations go? Miller Kopp is a guy, a new face, someone, but someone that the expectations are there. I think he's probably going to be a starter. I think he's going to be one of the 5 guys that starts. They need his shooting, his veteran leadership. He started for 3 seasons at Northwestern, so that gives you
some leadership on the floor, especially from a position that is pretty impactful, shooting.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And that's one of the strengths that he sort of talked about is his leadership and being able to use his voice. But another thing that he talked about was also improving his defense. That's a focus for Coach Mike Woodson.
Turn around. Let's just do the whole thing. There you go. I don't want to. We can listen to you as we look at the palm trees blocking the ocean. That's what we're talking about.
Right,
oh, absolutely.
There we go.
Now you can continue.
Yeah. So, one strength that he's got going is his loud voice and leadership, which he says the other guys are receptive to. He's got 3 years of experience in the Big Ten, but he's coming onto a team where there already are some leaders. But he said that those guys are receptive to his voice,
and that's important because he's a new guy on this team. Rarely does a new guy come in and take over that role, but I'll be honest with you, they haven't really had that. I mean, Trace Jackson Davis has probably tried to fill that role, and he's expected to be the guy this year. But, leadership is something they have lacked, but I don't know that has been cultivated prior to this year. By the coaching staff.
Yeah. And then what was really cool was just sort of being able to talk to Tamar Bates and seeing, I was able to ask him, what's one thing or a couple of things that you think that you need to improve on heading into this season. And he said that he was going to continue to develop his right hand and, just be a constant energy giver and constant talker and, just tighten his handles. So that was also a really cool piece of information.
Well, Matt Allen wants to know which freshman or newcomer will have the most impact for Woodson. I mean, Tamar Bates, of course, is thought of as a freshman, but we just talked about Miller Kopp. He's and Xavier Johnson. Both these guys are coming in experienced players, maybe none more than Miller Kopp, and he kind of seems to be the more solidified of those guys. Xavier's had some problems with letting his emotions range, I think. But we don't know. I don't know who's going to evolve most under this staff because these guys are looking to thrive. They're looking to learn. Did you see anything or hear anything on who is showing the most strides right now?
Well, in my opinion, I think that I'm just looking forward to seeing Tamar Bates play tonight, and I'm also looking forward to seeing Miller Kopp play. I mean, you think about newcomers and real newcomers, such as like the incoming freshmen. We learned yesterday that Logan Duncombe and Michael Durr are expected to miss both games. So when you're talking about, yes, you have some newcomers, but real, true newcomers, true freshmen, Tamar Bates, I think that's going to be something exciting to watch tonight, and definitely more information is going to be coming. We can't talk about practice and what we saw, but these two games will definitely provide a great opportunity to answer those questions. But I think there's definitely a lot of hype surrounding both those players, Miller Kopp and Tamar Bates.
And this lack of information is kind of two-pronged. The practice thing moratorium, that's coming from Indiana. I'm sure that Coach Woodson doesn't want any information getting out to anybody else. I don't know what it would really hurt this early. I really don't. I don't know that in what competitive advantage someone could gain on you. But anyway, that's how coaches are. The Big Ten is limiting the media to the 2-minute video thing. That's from the Big Ten. And you're going to be shooting video, obviously, highlights, getting those up. And also understand you're going to be doing a live thread on the Hoosier.com. Is that right?
Yeah, it's only me down here, so I'm going to be trying to do a lot of things within that time frame. So, shooting video on the baseline, taking pictures, making observations for other members of the Hoosier.com to be able to look at. and keeping a live thread. So it's going to be a lot going on at once. Maybe maybe the thread will start at second half or just whatever I can be doing. It might be a little bit of back and forth. It's something to think about. But yeah, it's going to be live thread, video, photo, and just observations of players, because that is something that we are allowed to take back. Practice we can't, but these 2 games we're allowed to take that information back.
And the 2 minutes of video will be up on the Hoosier.com after the game. So you will be able to see some guys. You will be able to see some plays, some highlights. And I'm sure that you guys are going to try to mix in the absolute best of that. And that's so difficult to take an entire game, find 2 minutes out of it with the most different looks. Tamar Bates, Parker Stewart, Miller Kopp, Christian Lander, all these different faces. How to squeeze all that into 2 minutes is going to be tough, but yeah, they'll have the Hoosier.com. Indiana Rivals will have that immediately afterwards. Make sure you go there, and the live thread during the game to update you on what's going on. So that's the only way you can find out. If you haven't given Matt a follow, you should we need to put his Twitter handle up, John, but what is your Twitter handle? Matt?
It's Matthew Byrne 1.
At Matthew Byrne 1. So make sure you give him a follow for coverage tonight on that. And then back again on Sunday for a 1 o'clock matinee game. I'm talking earlier. This is going to be an extremely tough matchup for Indiana. Now, and they don't have Michael Durr and Logan Duncombe. They're both down there, though, correct?
Yeah, both of them are down there. Or both of them are down here. Yeah.
And didn't you say that Logan actually participated in practice?
No, I think I don't remember, but I don't think I can't really comment on that. Yeah.
What's that?
What we do know is that Logan Duncombe and Michael Durr. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna head inside. I think the connection is.
Oh, you're fine. We can hear you fine.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, absolutely. Didn't have a problem a minute ago. You're good.
Okay, get that out of there. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't really
Indiana's very secretive. Just so you understand, Indiana's very secretive of what information gets out, especially if it involves any potential injury, and it doesn't matter how minor. They don't like talking about injuries anymore. And I'm not saying that to get on them. I'm just informing the audience. That's why Matt, it's not that he doesn't know things. There are just some things you can't say and can't talk about. Like you're hearing him, he can't talk about practice, which sucks. You can't talk about what you saw and who did well. But tell me this. Did you get to interact with the staff at all? Did they talk to you guys about, hey, here we're doing this. This is what we're doing. Or were you able to just sit there and observe, period?
We were just able to sort of just sit there and observe. We were just on the side, but it was still a great and really rare opportunity to be able to see how Coach Woodson runs his practices.
Yeah, I put the wrong name up there. I didn't include the E on your name, so take that one up. Don't follow that one. It doesn't have an E on it. It has an E on it. What was it like being in there and watching and seeing that? With how Coach Woodson is running practices? I'm not asking for anything to give away, but just seeing how they orchestrated, seeing how the different coaches interacted with the groups of players. I guess Matt's having a hard time hearing me. You sound fine, Matt. If you can hear me, you're good to go. Yeah, but doing international broadcasts gets a little difficult, but while we're doing that, Matt asks, who are the opponents for these games for the Hoosiers? We're going to have to get Matt to start following us on. Matt, you need to start following Indiana Sports Beat Radio on YouTube. And we keep you updated all the time. But BC Mega, it's an international team from Serbia, is who the Hoosiers are playing. We're talking with Matt Byrne right now from thehoosier.com, where you can get a complete live thread tonight of that game at 7:30. Lead up. I know you're working with Alec, Lasley. Any pregame coverage you guys are providing?
Well, Alec already has a preview up on the site, which can be viewed. But we're talking right now for planned coverage. For what to do tonight.
And looking forward to that, man, because everyone is just craving for information on this, and especially with the blackout. It's and the newness, all the newness. It's kind of weird to have all this and not to be able to see it. Usually in this day and age, there is simply not a contest that happens where it's not able to be seen or heard. So that's that. Well, man, that should be a fun time for you to get to see these games. And I'm looking forward, more importantly, to seeing what this team does against this international team. Any talk about the Serbians? I know they have a very high NBA draft pick in Jovic, I think, Nikola Jovic. And they have produced a ton we talked earlier about a ton of NBA draft prospects and drafts. This is a good program. Gogo Batazzi, who's currently with the Pacers, came through Mega BC from Serbia. So have you seen these guys out and about from the Serbian team?
Yeah, last night I actually saw the team was cool. They were walking right next to me, and they definitely have some size. So it's gonna be a real challenge. But honestly, I think that's good for this team. I mean, even if this team faces some adversity and doesn't win these games, it's a test. And then the benefit is that you'll have about probably 80-ish or around probably 80 minutes of film that you can view as many times as you like, because you have it there. So that's going to be a benefit. But I think it'll be a challenge for this team. And as you mentioned earlier, the connection was a little botchy out there, but I think it's going to put and expected not play, and those are true centers against this big team. So it's definitely going to be interesting to watch. Definitely going to be interesting to see maybe what counters this team has against BC Mega. So it's all speculation right now, but we'll know soon tonight.
And I'm assuming Mega BC is coming in at full strength. They're not going to be shorthanded. Indiana not having Logan Duncombe and Michael Durr, we don't know how much that's going to hurt them, because they didn't have them last year and they're both freshmen. But you would think, just from a depth perception, that it's going to hurt Indiana in this game, not having both of those guys.
Yeah, and
All
I
right.
mean it's going to be interesting to see.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. It's just going to be interesting to sort of see the counter with that. As I said earlier, maybe during the game they would have liked to maybe switch out and put Duncombe in or Durr in, and now they can't do that. But it also gives an benefit for other guys to be able to some playing time and rotate with some combinations. So we'll just see how it goes, and there's definitely going to be a ton of information after these set of two games, and even just tonight. This is where it all comes to a point. all the unknowns about the offense and all that stuff like that. This is where it's really going to show face. So definitely excited to be able to watch and provide updates on that.
Yeah, very interested to see the rotations. Very interested to see. And again, it's not quite the same. We don't know how Duran and not having Logan is going to impact those, but definitely an impact. But still going to be interesting to see how these rotations go. who plays, how many minutes, who starts, other than Trace Jackson Davis and Miller Kopp. I don't know who the other three starters will be. Any insight on your part? Who you think those other three starters you think might be? Obviously, they're probably going to have to start race.
Yeah, I mean, I think really only what anybody knows from the media side is that Trace, and Coach Woodson said that Trace is really the only lockdown for that position in the starting five. So I don't really know. It's I'm sure that these two games will help provide a little bit more information on who should be in that starting five. So probably a little bit tough to speculate right now, just because there's so many guys, and we don't really know how the combinations are going to work yet. So a little tough on that aspect. But like I said, I think these two games will provide enough where it'll start to be a lot clearer.
And I wonder if it's going to alter how Indiana has to run the offense tonight with that lack of depth at the big man. Especially if there's any hint of foul trouble, well, that is drastically going to change. But that's fine, because you may get in that situation either during the season, or it just may be a rotation that Coach Woodson wants to try against a particular team at some point this season. So there are always good things you can take out of being undermanned or whatever, because it puts you in a different position that you may end up in later on. So we'll certainly find out how they go. Andy says he just thinks that they don't put the game on TV because mega colors are so ugly. Pink and neon green. I haven't seen that. I guess they want to be seen, even though the game, they thought the game was on TV, Andy. Unfortunately, and it's not. But I haven't seen that. I'll have to look up that up. Maybe I have to get a mega jersey. What's the the merchandise sales? I saw that shirt, with the IU and the palm trees on it and all of that, which I'm sure it's going to look great on all of the high-end donors that's down there that's probably going to be buying that. Any other cool look merchandise that you've seen down there?
No, I actually haven't really seen that all too much merchandise. I think the only shirt I saw was the shirt that you're talking about. I think it's like the summer tour Bahamas shirt. So that's really the only shirt that I've seen. I haven't seen anything else, so I'm unaware if there's more merchandise out there.
That's good. That means you're hardworking, right?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, but just short spoken. But yeah, hopefully. This connection's bad, man. Sorry, brother. It's Biddleblex. We're gonna let you go, get running, so you can take care of that. Appreciate it. Looking forward to, like I said, give him a follow. Make sure you're on the Hoosier.com. That's going to give you a complete live thread of the game itself while it's going on. And by live thread, I mean typing. There's no. There will be 2 minutes of video that the Hoosier.com will have immediately following the game of highlights of different aspects of that. So look forward to that. Give both Matthew, myself, and Alec Lasley a follow for complete coverage on that. But, man, looking forward to it. And we'll talk to you again, and maybe do something over the weekend. We'll have to check into that with the schedule. But have a good one, brother, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Thanks, Jim.
Matt Byrne, you bet. Matt Byrne joining us here live from the Bahamas as the Indiana basketball program's down there taking on Mega BC. We've got more coming up here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. We're back with it right after this.
We'll be right back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington.
Hey, Hoosier fans,
Hey, I don't mean to be a get off my lawn type person, but it's BC Mega, not Mega BC.
Oh, no, that's fine. I BC Mega. What does the BC stand for? It's not
probably
British
basketball club. That'd be my guess.
Oh, really?
Kind of like
so they started
like
using
FC.
BC. So yeah. Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah, they do have some ugly jerseys.
Pop it up if you want.
I'm gonna pull this screenshot up if I can. And it's weird, they've got you'll love to see this. They've got the word soccer on the jersey. It's weird. I promise you this is BC Mega. You're gonna think I'm joking, but this is what it looks like.
That's international, man. That's maybe it belongs to a soccer program and they just share the same jersey.
That's true. It could be it. I'll wait, and if you want to wait, we can flash it up during the show and not during break, obviously.
Damn it, I meant to get Rick Bozich on. Oh, and Zach Osterman. Dang it. We'll get Zach on. He's probably flying out.
That photos. Oh, there we go. It's uploaded now.
Lots of comments from you guys today, man. You guys are killing it. Hey, welcome back, by the way. Doug, I don't know where you've been down there in Australia. Hey, and Douglas Wilson, follow us on YouTube Live, my brother.
We got 10 seconds.
On the links at Eagle Point in Bloomington, then stay for dinner at Sam's Clubhouse. Sam's Restaurants, professionals in the art of food and drink. This segment is brought to you by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Now back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Here's Jim Coyle.
Welcome back. It is a TGIF day, and I couldn't be any more thankful. Great show today, though, so far. It's been fun, I should say. Wyatt Street hitting us up on the Andy Moore Honda hotline. Says hopefully, and you can do that too if you're on the YouTube Live. It says hopefully Miller Kopp comes out with a vlog of the trip. Oh, I'm sure he will. Tony Stuckey from what Coach Woodson has stated recently, been concentrating on the defense. I wonder if they aren't handling PNRs differently, among other things, and have a lot of ground to cover. Well, defense is the foundation of everything. You have to have a defense. You have to have a defensive philosophy, plan, place everything in place and all of that. Not that you don't offensively, but defense is harder to learn I don't know if I should say harder, but I wish Charlie was still on to speak to this, but the reason I'm saying this is offensively, they didn't have sets, as you've heard the former players talk about under Bob Knight. They did not have sets. They had reactions. They had reads, options, and they learned those options and reads, and it was up to them to make those decisions. Defensively, you've got responsibilities. You have to do things. If this happens, you have to do this. Or your team suffers. And defense is the key to any sport. That's just a fact. Football. Got to have a great defense in football, or you're very, very few teams have won big time win the Super Bowl without good defenses. You look at Denver winning one recently under Peyton Manning with very little offense. But defense is so important in everything. And it's one where everyone has to work together. Let's see what's next there. Matt asks, what Serbians have played for the Hoosiers? He says the docket says he's Serbian. Well, he may be. He's up there. He's from the region. So a lot of that's very possible. I'm Irish. I didn't play basketball for Indiana, but I wonder if they've had any Irish dudes. I'm sure that they have. Tony Stuckey asks, pressure the ball more frequently, force the ball baseline, which wasn't a goal in pack line. Lots of things to install. Man, what was a goal in pack line? I think the pack line was just a fake name for nothing. Kevin Troy K's, what time is tonight's tip? No, I'm not. 7:30, my friend. I can see if they're not listening on the radio, if they're watching on YouTube or Facebook, and again, this is not, Kevin, don't take this this is not against you, but I can, the people that are on Facebook, they're not as in tune to the information, you can tell. Someone earlier asked, if the games are if they were going to be broadcast, and that's been a big discussion for the last week or two. But yeah, make sure you give us a follow on YouTube Live or YouTube, Indiana Sports Beat Radio, to keep up with everything. It'll send you the information. Hit the notifications toggle. Wyatt says defense creates offense. You're not lying. And that's something the Indiana basketball team has had zero of the last 4 years. The defense has not been great. It's been okay. It was okay. It was not deplorable, but it wasn't great. But it created nothing. Think about how many times you watch guys walk up the floor. They get a rebound, you find a guard, and they come on up the floor, especially after a made basket. Man, you have to create havoc. It's like the football program. That's their defensive mantra, creating havoc. Because if you're creating havoc for the opposing team, you're causing stress in their life and in their game. Let's see. Ross, everyone have a great weekend. Lots of racing this weekend. That's right. NASCAR, IndyCar at IMS, USAC at Indianapolis Raceway Park, and the Knoxville Nationals. Wow. You ain't lying, brother. That's a lot going on. We talked to Chris Denari yesterday, of course. He'll be in turn 4. Or, no, he won't be. He'll be in turns, who knows, 4, 18, 16. I forget what he said. He's in a bunch of turns because it's on the road course. But, yeah, so much going on. Wyatt, so much of your game is made in the defensive end. The reads you make on defense can also help reads you make on offense when you're given the freedom to do so. Absolutely. When you trust the players to make the decisions. I don't know how anyone could ever try that a different way. We're about to go over, so I got to not get on a soapbox here, but got to get this one in from down under. Doug, thanks, Jim. I still follow, just not the live feeds. I love the off-season talks. Actually, easier time to comment. Hey, curious, during the season, we will see Charlie and Leary on after games. Yeah, Charlie is insightful. Leary is a high energy, straightforward. Says it as he sees it, guy. That would be an interesting combo. You ain't lying. That's like trying to put two magnets together, both equally as intelligent, but different views. Love that suggestion, Doug. But great to have you back along. Pete says, show that BC Mega jersey before we sign off. Thank you for reminding me. There you go. Pete on the deal. Well, that's not how it was described a minute ago, but that still looks very fuchsia, maybe. Is that the color? And a minute ago, it was someone saw it was, yeah, they must have a bunch of ugly jerseys.
There may be an updated one with neon green, but that may be their standard jersey.
We'll find out. Man, it's been a great day. Fun. You guys have made it really fun today. Thank you so much. We greatly appreciate you. Keep the comments coming. We'll be back on Monday, but we'll try to get some stuff out over the weekend because of the Bahamas deal. We talked to Tom Allen yesterday as well. You should have had that up today. We've been so busy, forgot. I apologize. But that is up on the YouTube channels as well, so you can get to that. Man, I hope you guys go out and have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Do something fun. Enjoy all the sports that's going on. Go to thehoosier.com for if you want coverage of what's going on in the Bahamas. They've got it for you. Alec, Lasley, and Matthew Byrne will be providing live threads and all of that and the video immediately afterwards. So thehoosier.com, Indiana Rivals, is there for you. Until then, I cannot thank Charlie Miller enough. Can't thank Alec enough, and Matthew as well. And, of course, John, the producer. Most importantly, I want to thank you guys. You guys are awesome today, and we appreciate you immensely. Until Monday, I am Jim Coyle. I will see you on the radio.